Hey, welcome back to a brand new video, and in today's video I want to respond to a pretty decent video with criticism on me. So this video was made by a guy called Aimless, who I've spoke to in the past. He's made some pretty decent videos in the past, so go check out his channel. And in this video, he criticizes me, and I do think he makes some good points, so today I wanted to go over them. I wanted to give counter arguments to certain things and respond to the criticism he gave me, because this is the type of criticism I wanted from him. In private he didn't give me this, and instead he just kind of blew up the whole situation into an argument, which was a bit pointless. I appreciate that he's made this video because now I can actually understand the criticism he's trying to make, because he has the arguments and evidence to support it, and obviously he's scripted this, so this should be a better way of looking at the criticism. So let's give it a listen.
This video has been on my mind for a while. Ever since I made my video about the Luke-Harley drama, in fact. I felt at the time, and still do to a degree, that said video didn't analyze enough of the points made by Luke against Harley. Over time, as I became slightly more acquainted with Harley and watched him get involved in the Dream drama, my interest in covering him grew, and I'd been working on a video for the past few days that would have been quite kind towards him, even ending with a reflection on how YouTube had a problem with idolizing creators and placing them on a pedestal as perfect, thus pressuring them to appear as such. And then Harley messaged me. That video is now gone, and I am done with HarleyTBS.
Although I feel like it's good that he's changed up the video because I messaged him, I do think it's a bit weird to just change up your whole video from positive to negative purely because someone criticized you on what you'd posted publicly and debated with you on your opinion. I don't know, that just seems a bit dumb, but maybe I'm wrong. All I really did was argue on your points and we disgust of each other.
For my absolute shit show of an argument with Harley, my main criticism of him was that his claims related to thinking John Swan was always lying about the 12-year-old troll story were either untrue or showed him to have been disingenuous at the beginning of the drama. The argument I had with him changed all of that. I won't show any screenshots of the argument as it occurred in direct messages, however I will do my best to provide correct context and represent the intent of the messages accurately. If Harley wants to leak these DMs himself, as it was he who said I shouldn't leak them, he is completely free to. The argument began with Harley messaging me and telling me he was disappointed due to a tweet I had made a few days ago in relation to his handling of the Dream drama.
Yeah, because he compared the Dream drama to my Pyro situation and tried to claim that I pivoted once I got more evidence in response to a message I'd given to Nick where I said that I stayed neutral, and in the start I had defended John because obviously I didn't want this to become a public drama, and as I've said to Aimless in private, I wanted to handle this in private. LT Cobra knows that, I'm guessing John knows that, and pretty much every other creator that knew the truth of the situation knew that I wanted this handled in private.
Which many commentators, including myself, think he handled somewhat poorly. He alleged that I only did this due to him criticizing Nicholas Diorio, a commentator I very much like. However, this is inaccurate. While the tweet I replied to from Harley was at the bottom of a chain originally started by Nick, the two had argued before in relation to this drama as far back as February 17th, and I had said nothing then. I may have talked about the drama in his Discord server before the 27th, however those messages weren't completely public. Harley unfortunately ran with this argument of me being biased due to me having both Nick and John at the top of my featured channels list. While I will admit to liking their content, this in no way invalidates my argument, and Harley only used my enjoyment of and partial inspiration from them as a way to ignore my points and lambast me.
I didn't lambast you, I criticized what you were saying to me, and I pointed out inconsistencies in it. Also, I still do believe you're kind of biased because you're a fan to both of them. That's just my opinion.
For the argument, my opinion on Harley's pivot to I always thought John was guilty, which he doubled down on in this video, was that it was either a lie designed to make him look better or made his initial defense of John look disingenuous, or as I suggested to Harley, possibly a clout move to become better connected with John. Harley's response to this was, in my opinion, somewhat reasonable. He defended John because he wasn't completely sure of his side and wanted Dream to resolve the situation in private, as well as not wanting to make the allegation against John until he had 100% proof. Harley also works as an editor full-time, and so he didn't want to damage his own reputation with those he works with by making the allegation. While I can accept now that this might be the case, there's one large hole in it. Harley not wanting to make an allegation without definitive proof. He even said, and I quote, "You don't post shit without 100% evidence, otherwise it's more than likely to crash back on you."
Yes, serious allegations that you're claiming against someone's reputation, especially a huge creator.
This was where the narrative around the situation changed, and where my opinion of Harley dropped even further. As the complete asshole that I am, I went and checked Harley's videos on the Dream drama. Within them, I found some very interesting things.
But, yeah, with Dream, I just hope that he learns from this, because the way he acted in this situation is so immature for a creator with his platform. I still agree. The way he handled this situation was quite immature. He posted replies publicly. He posted initially on a Reddit thread complaining about a smaller YouTuber. He posted several times publicly before he even contacted John in private. And the second people came out against him, he contacted them in private and basically told them he was going to stream and showed them a bunch of counter evidence. And although towards the end he started covering it better, if you look at his coverage on the stream that he posted, he obviously isn't informed on drama, especially drama content, and it's very clear that because of that he didn't really understand how to make his arguments well, and because of that he made mistakes, which I criticized. And it's so clearly malicious, and it's obvious that he did this purely because he's probably seen the reaction that John's videos on Chris Hansen had, and he doesn't want to get that kind of criticism, and he doesn't want to be lambasted like that, basically. I still stand with that point. I feel like the reason Dream responded was because he wanted to get a preemptive strike against John. That is my personal opinion, based on the fact that he did it with his ex-girlfriend when she came out against him, based on the fact he did it with the cheating scandal when people went out about him. He responded first to de-escalate it almost, which never works when a bigger creator responds first. But I felt like he was doing the same thing, and I still feel like he was doing the same thing. Although I also believe that he did have good points against John, I feel like he only really spoke about this purely because John was making a video, and that is the truth. But Dream did it purely because he wanted to damage John's reputation. And as a result, I believe Dream deserves every bit of criticism he gets because of this. I still agree. That is my opinion, as I said. I know that Aimless in a second says, opinions need evidence. Not in this situation, because I literally say in the clip he's about to play, he's done the same thing with his ex-girlfriend. If I needed to provide a screenshot, I would have, but there was no need to provide a screenshot for that, because the statement was pretty clear, and everyone that witnessed the girlfriend thing saw he posted first about it, same with the cheating scandal. Cheating situation to the situation with his ex, it's always clear Dream likes to preemptive strike against the other person, and it's very clear that Dream is incapable of taking any criticism or being called out on his behaviour. Yeah, I completely still agree with that. Everything I said there was completely accurate. The point I was making is that he gets the strike first, so that it doesn't crash back as hard on him. And I still have that belief. That is my opinion, and I stick with it. Firstly, he told a kid that he insinuated that a kid was a pedophile. He didn't say it outright, but he insinuated it. This is in relation to the Pieman situation, and I know that Aimless makes a point that I should have left a link. I should have left a link to Pieman's video. I completely agree. I should have gave a link to Pieman's video. I didn't think about it because I posted this video while I was asleep, and I will amend that now because there definitely should have been a Pieman link there. I also probably should have provided screenshots. I didn't feel like it was necessary because if people actually wanted the information, they could have just looked it up and they would have very quickly seen it. But the links will be in this description as well if you want that. And he also told that kid that they could never have a platform on the internet again. But the point Aimless is making here is that I said, never make an allegation without 100% evidence. The first example he provides is me sharing my opinion. The second example he provides is me claiming something that I did have 100% evidence to prove, I just didn't provide the 100% evidence. So he's completely missing the point I was making in private. And he also told them that they should quit the commentary community, and said that the allegations he'd made against him would haunt him because he dated a girl that was 3 years younger than him. At the age of 15, he dated a 12-year-old.
So as we can see, that's 2 allegations against Dream and 1 against John Swan with no evidence provided. Just the claim and nothing else. No screenshots, not even a link to Pieman's video, which could have easily proven Harley's point. So I confronted him about this, saying he had indeed made allegations without proof present.
He's missing the point I was making. The point I was making is that I had the proof, I just didn't feel a need to show it. That's completely different to what he's claiming now, is that my point was somehow that I needed to show the 100% evidence. I don't believe that, because in this situation, when has Nick or anyone else shown the 100% evidence that John was guilty? The only reason we know John was guilty is because of his admission. You don't need to show 100% evidence if everyone in the situation knows it's true. Like, who's gonna argue me on a point that everyone in the situation knows is true? Especially after Willy's video on it.
And his response is why this new cut of the video exists. Let's start with the Dream allegations. Harley completely ignored the one where he said Dream couldn't take criticism and focused it on the one where he said Dream was bringing up the drama maliciously.
I will amend the first point. Dream can take criticism. He took some of my criticism in private. I still feel, however, that he does like to get the preemptive strike. I do feel, however, that he's less capable of taking criticism than most creators. But I do believe Dream can take criticism, so that's a correct.
His defense? It's just my opinion. Well, sorry, Harley, but your opinion means nothing without some basis in reality.
It did have basis in reality. The fact that the second John had made a thread about him, Dream was responding publicly, and Dream was digging for more dirt against John. I felt like, because John had criticized him for allegedly smearing him, I felt like Dream was trying, he was trying to go after John because he couldn't take criticism. That was wrong of me, and I admit that. It was my opinion at the time. And that is how an opinion works, because it did have basis in reality at the time.
And considering you didn't provide anything in the way of evidence to support it, it can be disregarded. And also, claiming someone is doing something maliciously is not just an opinion, it's a claim that's potentially damaging. Harley also claimed that he had spoken to Dream behind the scenes and he had no issue with Harley, which I find a bit hard to believe, but considering he unlisted the video those allegations were from...
To be clear, me and Dream have no issues with each other. We've spoken every time we've spoke since, and during the situation, me and Dream have been fine. Completely, 150%, no arguments, no disagreements. We've been fine, because Dream has listened to everything I've said, I've listened to everything Dream said. We've been on pretty good terms. He even follows me on Twitter.
Made a video saying John Swan doesn't deserve his channel.
That's a complete misrepresentation of the clip, but I'll let the clip play first. John Swan is one of those creators that doesn't deserve the platform he has. I'm talking about the kind of audience that John has in that clip. The fact that he's got such a large audience of 200,000 people, yet he's lying to them and to his friends about his behavior. I believe that someone who has no integrity shouldn't be creating content criticizing other people for doing the same things he does, and if that person continuously lies to their audience and manipulates every single thing they've done so that his audience wouldn't betray him, I feel like he shouldn't have that kind of platform. If you don't handle that platform properly, appropriately, and if you aren't someone deserving of that platform, I don't believe you should have that platform. That's my opinion. John has an audience too big for his own good. In the case where John is behaving like this, I think he has a platform too big for his own good, and I believe he doesn't deserve that platform at this time. That was my opinion.
But speaking of John, let's move to what Harley said about him. In my argument, I focused on the section dedicated to Pieman, someone who John Swan accused of being a suicide baiter and insinuated was a nonce. For more information on this topic, I'd recommend watching either Willy shows or Pieman's own videos. Harley repeated these claims, providing no evidence to support any of what he said, which is a running theme in that particular video. What was Harley's defense here, you may ask? He didn't have enough time to do research.
No, aimless, you've just misrepresented what I said. You've completely misrepresented what I said, and I don't appreciate that kind of lie. You have twisted my words completely. I never once said I didn't have enough time to research. I said that the editing time would take too long to do for a daily upload. So I said that I didn't have the time to put the screenshots in there. I had the evidence, I'd seen the evidence, I'd watched the whole of the DramaTime podcast, as I'd said to you, I'd watched the whole of Pieman's video, and I'd watched the Lucid stream where he reacted to it, as I said to you, and I watched Willy show's video more recently, after my video, I guess, but I've seen everything in the situation and I've followed it since the start. My point wasn't that I didn't have enough time to research, so you've completely twisted my words there. My point was that I didn't have enough time to add the screenshots that were unnecessary to the video because the points I was making weren't going to be argued, because they were true and they were based on the evidence that I had already seen and that was already public.
Just that. In fact, Harley thinks you don't even need to show evidence in your videos as long as it's out there on the internet.
That's not what I said either. I said that I didn't need to provide evidence in this video because everyone in the community knew it was true and no one was going to argue the point, and if they did, I would just reply to their comment with like a link to one of the videos. I said that to you, so you're twisting my words, Aimless.
Since if the audience doesn't blindly believe you, they can go and troll through the Wayback Machine and old streams to find the evidence you already had. Or
you're completely ignoring my point. What do you mean? The only things I left out were things that were very public and had been covered by lots of high-profile creators, and were things that nobody in the community would argue because everybody knew about them and everybody knew it was true.
Just watch a better video by someone else, of course, because apparently spending 5 extra minutes to put a couple screenshots over your Rainbow Six Siege gameplay is throwing my daily schedule out to please fucking idiots like you. The fucking idiot in this case, of course, being myself.
I like the out-of-context quote. Obviously, the quote was in reference to, he said that I should have added all the screenshots to things that I didn't feel necessary to provide a screenshot for. So, I said I don't need to throw out my daily schedule to please idiots like you, because most of my videos, I script for 3 hours from 6 AM to 9 AM, I then record gameplay for about an hour to 2 hours. I then record my audio, edit my audio for like an hour and a half, and then I have to edit it. And by the time I finished editing it, I probably have like 45 minutes to 30 minutes to upload the video and set it all up ready to go up. So, if I was to provide screenshots for everything, add all the visual effects for them, add all the blurring in the background, add all the visual effects that I do for my videos, I wouldn't have enough time to get that video out for 6 PM GMT, which is the upload schedule I'm keeping right now, which I'm very happy doing.
You see, Harley can't be bothered to put the slightest bit of effort into actually prove to his audience that he knows what he's talking about, and isn't just repeating what other people say. As such, he doesn't bother with putting in screenshots or even links in his video descriptions for such allegations as child grooming or false accusations of pedophilia.
Huh? He mentions my Cosmodor video, but Cosmodor's victims are out there, and in my second video, which was made the day after, I mention their video and share their video and tell people to watch it. So actually, I did provide a source for people to get more information. So that's just downright disingenuous. And in my second video, Cosmodor agreed with everything I said. Also, in that first video, I never accused him of anything. I just discussed what had happened from evidence that is very well known about Cosmodor. There was no reason to provide evidence for claims that are already very well known. Take, for example, other content creators like Norny that also covered this exact same topic, who also didn't feel a need to provide any screenshot evidence because the information was already very public and out there. So if you're going to criticize me for doing that, criticize pretty much every other content creator who does the exact same thing, because it's not necessary. Aimless, you make more documentary style videos and you make more evidence is needed for everything content. It's really not in a situation where the evidence is already public and I don't make any sweeping allegations.
He just says things and expects his audience to believe them. And when I suggested that he should actually put this evidence in, so the audience, who might not have any idea what the drama is about, can see the proof of what actually happened without having to watch someone else's video or do unnecessary research, Harley responded by calling that a small creator mindset.
Because I was joking. I was mocking you. I was taking a little laugh at the situation because it seemed so dramatic and overblown from you. I can't believe you've actually taken me saying that's a small commentator mindset seriously. Fucking hilarious. Also, in mention to your point that I don't provide evidence for anything, I don't provide evidence for anything that I'm certain on, that I'm certain won't come back on me, that I'm certain there is evidence for. Because in that situation, I'm not lying to my audience. My audience can trust me at my word because everything I claim without a screenshot is true. If you can find me an example where it isn't, I will happily amend that immediately.
And that sometimes he has to sacrifice quality for quantity.
That's true. I do have to sacrifice quality for quantity. It's a sad equivalent exchange that I have to make with content. Sometimes you do have to cut around the edges to make the content more accessible and easier to make, because I want to make daily content. Daily content is the new type of content that I'm enjoying, and I'm kind of burnt out on making long form videos. So for the time being, I'm making these shorter daily videos, and then potentially I'll return back to the long form content as my channel continues to grow.
I think the best example of this is his first video on Cosmodor. Not only does he regurgitate the allegations made against Cosmo, which I'm not going to actually speak on because I don't know the drama well, with zero screenshots or evidence, his reaction to Cosmo's response is, well, I'll just show you.
And also because it's not my viewers' place to accept any apology I make, that's entirely on the people I negatively impacted.
So, if you acknowledge the fact that it's not the audience's place to talk about and accept an apology from you, why did you make an apology before?
His reaction to Cosmo's response is a screen recording of the video. Let me repeat that. A screen recording. An unedited screen recording at that, with Harley pausing the video to interject commentary.
Actually, it was edited, and also, what is the point here? I'll load up my Vegas file for you, because I have no issue with that. But as you can see, I get the point he's making. It's a screen recording response, right? There is still editing throughout this. I cut out all my invalid points, all of that. It's just me going through the video, pausing it at points where I felt was necessary, making points where I felt them necessary, and then cutting back to the video. It's not just unedited footage, it's literally cuts between footage, and you know that because it's obvious when I cut.
Show it any further.
He claims that the things being spread are rumors. This video was fully edited. It literally, you can see all the cuts throughout the footage. It was just edited more lightheartedly because it didn't need to be anything more than that. Why did I need to make this video something fancy or super high edited, super high quality when the points I was making still stand?
You see, sometimes you just have to sacrifice some quality. The quality of actually downloading the video you're supposed to be talking about.
Aimless, I literally downloaded the video, but the video's quality is so low quality when I downloaded it. I just decided to just go off at the regular YouTube video because why not? At the end of the day, What does it matter? I'm still just looking at the same video, I'm still just going through it and pausing it where I need to. Why does it need to be some high quality, high effort editing? It doesn't need to be. You're over dramatizing something that literally doesn't matter.
And cutting up your gameplay and audio to put clips of said video in between like it was done back in 2016. Harley just has to sometimes leave out things because they aren't necessary, like the split tool, and actual effort. Here's a suggestion, Harley. Maybe don't upload every single day just so you can gain subscribers.
I'm just burnt out on other types of content, and I'm loving making daily content. I'm pretty happy making my daily content, because my daily content is still good, it still makes the points I make, and it's more content for my audience in less time while I'm still working on my bigger video. I'm just working on these smaller videos in between, because I have free time to do so. Your point is literally irrelevant here, because you haven't shown a single mistake I've actually made. All you've done is pointed out that I was a bit of a dick to you in DMs, and that I didn't provide screenshots to back up claims that were true.
Maybe actually work on your videos for more than 1 hour. You're a full-time editor, so I'm sure you're capable of actually editing your own content.
Imagine thinking that I spent an hour on my videos. The fact that he says it takes me an hour to make these videos when I record all of my audio, when I edit all of my audio, cut out all the outtakes, cut out all the mistakes, then I filter through, I record gameplay, then I filter through, I make sure I've looked at all the evidence, I script write. My videos aren't just some off-the-cuff video, aimless. Every one of my videos has a script for them. It feels really disingenuous for you to act like my videos are some thing I make in 1 hour. They take a lot of hours, and I'm barely able to get them out in the time that I want to.
But apparently me assuming that you need to provide evidence for hard claims you make, or else people will think you're making it up, is a small creator mindset, which if that's the case, I hope I never pass 2K.
Oh my god, I was joking. Aimless, I was joking.
I find it funny that Harley also said that he's trusted by his audience and most of the commentary community apart from the friends of the devil incarnate, Jonathan Swan. Despite him complaining in his "Where's My Apology" video that, as he put it,
I'm just really kind of just upset with John, and I'm just upset with this whole community for going against me because I spoke my truth. Yeah, I was referencing the community that supports John. I was referencing the community on John's side. People like Nicholas Diorio, people like Oblax, people like Augie, all of those people, and their audience. I was referencing them, and my point is completely valid. Everyone from that community went against me. That community isn't my audience. My audience is completely different to that, to be honest.
ironic. Harley's need to stick to daily uploads not because it's enjoyable for him or it's good content, but because it's easy and grows his channel quickly reminds me of a phrase that's been thrown around quite a lot in relation to Harley in the past.
Wait. Did he genuinely just say that I don't do it because I enjoy it? Aimless. I said to you in private as well, I make daily content because it's an easier, more refreshing way for me to make content because I've been so burnt out on making these long-form projects where I have to keep digging, keep contacting sources, keep doing interviews, keep getting more and more evidence, and ending up with these huge long-form scripts with all of this information in it, and then folders filled with information from my audio, to the gameplay, to other people's segments, to the music, to the art, to the screenshots, to all of my sprites, to all of this other work that I take forever to put together and compile. I got sick of doing that. It was so difficult to keep up with and do consistently. And I wanted to make more easy content to produce that I could make on a more consistent scale for my audience, because audiences love consistent content. And I was like, what if I can do consistent content? I'd love to do consistent content because it would be way more refreshing to me, and I would have more time to just have fun, I guess, out of my day, making more content on more topics so that I don't have to concentrate on one topic till I'm completely burnt out and bored of the topic. Like, by the time I'd finished with the Hopeless Peaches documentary, I'd had that in the works for a month. I'd contacted Creepshow Art, I'd made attempts to contact Camilla, I'd contacted Junkie, I'd contacted Kai, I'd contacted Omnia, I'd contacted Peaches herself, I've contacted Jar, I've contacted Manga Carmen, I've contacted all of these creators in it. I'd spent literally a month trying to get all of this evidence. So when I finally got this video ready, I was so burnt out on it that I just went, okay, I'm done. I can't do any more editing. I've spent way too much time on this. I just need to release it now. I'm done dealing with the stress. And literally, a few days before my video came out, Hopeless Peaches attempted to take her life. I couldn't hold that video back anymore. I wanted to hold it back more because I just wasn't able to do it. I was just so burnt out on it, but I ended up forcing myself to do it purely because I was scared for her safety. That video caused a lot of stress and struggle to me. That's what always happens when you get yourself too involved in these situations. So I just wanted to make more lighthearted content. I'm sorry that people like you think that it's not okay for me to switch up my content sometimes, just so that I can take time for myself, for my mental health, to relax and take time off of these big, long, painful, stressful topics that I just haven't been enjoying making content on.
Well, back then, I defended Harley, as I thought and still think he was basically just another trending topic commentator at the time. His shift in content has made me reconsider that stance. Considering his motivation for making this type of rushed content is purely for growth and monetary reasons.
Aimless, what are you talking about? I made £100 this month. £100. I got more views, I got more subscribers than usual, but money? Really? I have no idea what your point is there. My videos are just doing as well as they were before. Aimless, I'm just really confused what your point is here. My videos aren't doing better to make me more money or anything. I'm just making the same amount as I normally would make. Like, take for example my Cosmodor videos. Literally, these videos are getting limited ads. What do you mean? I'm not making more from these videos than I would be. Maybe I'm gaining more subscribers, yeah, I can agree my channel is growing at a faster rate, but that's to be expected with daily content. Most of these videos are getting limited ads. So your point that I'm making more money, it's just untrue. I'm making the same as I would be making.
I think it's safe to say he fits the bill of clout chaser now more than ever. And that's really unfortunate because I used to defend Harley.
What? You're just saying this because I disagreed with you in private about some of your criticism on me. I don't get what your point is. I've spoke to so many people and taken criticism, and they've agreed in messages with me and in call that they misunderstood me when they called me a clout chaser. Literally, your point is invalid because I'm not doing this content because it just purely benefits me. I like to grow my channel, and I want to grow my channel quicker. Yes, most content creators switch to daily content because it performs better. That doesn't make them clout chasers. That's not even related to clout. Gaining a following quicker because you want a bigger platform is not a clout move, because clout insinuates that you're doing it because you want to flex it or you want to gloat about the numbers. When do I gloat about my subscribers? I don't. I just grow my channel because I want to grow my channel, because I want to make this a job in the future, and I've clarified that so many times.
I thought he was okay, and I supported him against Prismate Luke and his ridiculous claims. But maybe I was wrong. Maybe Harley is exactly what Luke called him. YouTube's scummiest clout chaser. Okay, I won't actually go that far, but he's still bad. But before I conclude, I'd like to get a second opinion on our good friend Harley. What do you say, Lamani?
Time to take charge on this one. How about I give you some quick facts about the commentary community? What this community is, you could say, an expert at giving criticisms and sometimes not accepting criticism. One other fact is that a big majority of the commentary channels are run by, let's say, not kids, but underage people. 14 to 17 is, you could say, a majority of the majority. With that said, I'd like to make it clear. You can make any content you want at any age, completely fine and dandy. However, in some communities, especially the commentary one, you have to prepare yourself with some, mostly taking what you say with a pinch of salt, because they're topics in which you either do not know what the fuck the meaning behind it is, or you do not understand it at its fullest extent. Our last fact of the day is being early to the topic. This is a double-edged sword. On one hand, you get the benefits of being one of the first to talk about it when X story breaks by getting a good amount of views and new subscribers. On the other hand, the story is still developing, which means there will be a high chance that your video will become outdated, hard, and even look like a complete dumbass, which 95% of the time, that's the case. With that said, Harley is 16. Some people will take what you say with a pinch of salt. So, you making 2 videos and a live stream on the Dream John Swan situation doesn't really help your argument that you're not a clout chaser, which Nicholas and many others have called you being.
Oh no. Oh my god, no, wait. You didn't just say that because I made multiple videos about something it's clout chasing? Couldn't that argument literally be used against John himself? Oh my god, guys, John Swan made 3, was going to make 4 videos on Chris Hansen. He is a clout chaser. He made 2 videos on Susie Lou. He is a clout chaser. He made 2 videos on Deji. What a clout chaser. It's such an invalid argument. The point isn't there. Because you make multiple videos on a topic doesn't make you a clout chaser.
Going with an outsider's perspective and seeing this, hopefully the last chapter, you're quite fucking lucky. And that's not to mention your horrendous 2 videos on Pyrocynical, which they've become a meme.
Yeah, I made these 2 videos. They were a mistake that I regret. And if you actually knew the context of those videos, if you did any digging of your own into those videos, you would know firstly that this title, Framed by the Public, was also in reference to myself, and secondly, the first minute of the video is me admitting that I made mistakes in my last video and acknowledging the criticism levied against me before people even said it the second Pyro released his response, because I hold myself accountable, and I knew that I was in the wrong. I feel the need to start this video by admitting that I was wrong in my last video, and a lot of the things that I said weren't true. As I said, I acknowledged my mistakes. It seems that you're not allowed to acknowledge your mistakes. Actually, it seems you're not allowed to make a mistake. And also, I find it funny that everyone acts like I jumped on the Pyro train. This video was a month after his response, and it took a lot of time to script and go through. I just made a mistake because I came out with the wrong conclusion from the evidence I'd seen.
As well as a blueprint on how not to approach a situation like it. And sadly, people don't follow it. You really have to understand that if you continue to make another Pyro guilty innocent, or Dream and John aka flip-flopping, your credibility dam will crash like no other. Also,
He didn't just say that me making a mistake and then admitting to it is flip-flopping.
one more thing. This video is utter dog shit because of this.
For those that think I'm clout chasing or lying or flip-flopping or whatever you want to say, I want to make it extremely clear. My opinion has not been formatted yet. I'm still looking over the evidence, I'm still considering, and I need to hear John's side to the evidence against him before I make any sweeping claims.
So you're telling me that before this video, as well as your future takes until John responds, were just half-baked takes and opinions?
No, they were me sharing the evidence, they were me discussing them, and giving my view at the time.
Yet you still fucking thought it was a good idea to make them public. Are you nuts?
I mean, if you want to go off of that same argument that I said that from the start I knew that John was guilty, that screenshot was correct. From the start I have known John was guilty. I'll just go off the description here. But as I said here, I think it could be John. And this was when I was a small channel. From the start, I've been confident that it's John. From the start. As I said in that tweet, nothing I said was untrue.
Anyway, what is there to really say about HarleyTBS? Well, I've said a lot already, so let's conclude with my predictions for the future. We've already seen that daily commentary and serious dramas don't mix well, with creators such as Diesel Patches and Sensitive Society having their feet held to the fire over the Pyrocynical situation and sensibly changing up their content a bit by not focusing on hard drama. Prison mate Luke, for all my criticisms of him, has begun to improve himself, hiring someone to do his thumbnails and no longer making outlandish claims with poor evidence, at least for now. Harley is unfortunately doing what all of us have already learned not to do. And while he has managed to get out of the dramas he's been in mostly unscathed, I don't foresee that trend continuing indefinitely. Maybe when he reaches his next random subscriber milestone, he'll actually think about his content again and realize maybe putting in evidence is actually a good idea. Or maybe he won't, and will end up like Luke, with a bleeding channel as a result of his own hubris and mistakes. Time will tell. If I had to give any advice to Harley, even though he's probably already clicked off this video to angrily post about me on Twitter.
Fucking hell. Aimless, who do you think I am, man? I've spoke to you for the last few weeks. I responded to your criticism on your video to Luke, saying that I thought it was pretty good. Why would I have just clicked off of this video because you provided me criticism? If you were going by that argument, I wouldn't have responded to Luke's video. I mean, all I lost was 100 subs off of it. I respond to criticism because I listen to criticism, because I take criticism into account.
It would be this. Pick a lane. You can do low-effort daily videos, or you can talk about hard-hitting serious dramas.
Or you can post whatever you want. Or you can discuss whatever you want. Or I'm allowed to run my channel how I want. Aimless, it's not your place to tell me if I can make long-form content or short-form content. That's up to me to decide.
but you can't do both.
Of course you can! Who says you can't do both?
It never ends well, especially with the quite frankly terrible mentality you have about making content. I do genuinely want Harley to improve, but that want has a limit. He's already proven to be obstinate and impotent in relation to content and attitude. If this video gets a terrible response, and he and his poor excuse for content get into a drama he can't pull himself out of in the next few months, I might just have to sit back and watch his career burn. Thank you for watching. What the next video is will be dependent on how bad Harley's response to this is.
Overall, I think this video does have some good points that I will take into account. Though I feel like a lot of the arguments Aimless makes are literally irrelevant, and they're pretty meaningless when you take into account that his only real argument is that I didn't provide screenshots in a video where everything I said was true, and if you fact-checked anything I said, it was true. But it's clear that he rushed this because I DM'd him and it made him mad at me, and that kinda sucks, because Aimless had a pretty perfect track record before then. Overall, my criticism for this video would be, don't just rush into making a video calling me out purely because I didn't agree with you. Also, don't just remove all the positives you have to say about me purely because of the fact that I disagreed with you on some points. I feel like that's a childish mentality to have, and a small commentator moment. Obviously, I'm joking. Aimless, all the best to you. I feel like you make good videos. I hope that this video isn't how your videos continue, and I hope that you do learn from this video. I'll see you next time. Peace.
Says she wanna rock with it like me. I'm a stylish guy. Spend a little guap with it like me. We can catch a fly. Says she wanna rock with it like me.